this video, we are going to create a task manager app with multiple screens. We have never done multiple screens before, so this is the first time we're going to create two different screens where you'll have task categories and the ability to mark tasks as complete or delete them. So we'll have the first screen where you'll have these tasks defined. You can add some more tasks inside here. I've not added a text field to add the name of the task, but as and when you can create more, you can create them. And here inside the second screen, you can go into a particular category and add more tasks inside there. By default there is nothing, and you can mark them complete or by just checking on them. You can also delete them if you want by clicking on the edit button on the top, and that's the project that we'll be working on. We'll start with setting up the project, creating a basic UI, adding the state management, implementing a navigation between multiple screens, which is new, and add task categories. Also then add complete and deleting tasks. That's what we will look at. Let's go ahead and start with the new project. App iOS. Next, call it task manager. Everything looks good. Next, and save it. So once I've saved this project here, now in this particular case, as you see, there's multiple screens associated with this. For that, let's first go ahead and we hide all these things and create a couple of structs. First, for the task, which inherit from identifiable, let id equal to uid, and title is string, and we'll have if this task is completed or not. I'm gonna say is completed boolean. By default I can set all the tasks to false. Next we have category, which category does all these tasks belong to. Protocol identifiable, id, again same thing, uid, creates a unique identifier for this. Name is string, and then tasks that it has, this particular category will have multiple tasks from above, so it's an array of tasks which is empty in this to start off with. Now once that is done, let's go ahead here in the content view, which will display all the categories. So for that I'll create a state private variable, call it categories, and this has array of category inside, and let's define them. The first one I'll call it category. Let's say this will have tasks which are personal tasks. Next I want to create a category which has work tasks, so I'm going to call it work. Next one, I'll create a category which will have shopping tasks. So you can create as many categories as you want here. Now next I'm going to get rid of this and create a navigation view, because if I want to navigate from one to another screen, I'll need a navigation view. And this excuse me, will have a list which will go through each of the categories and display those categories here one at a time. So for that, if you've done it before, I'm going to say category in, and in here I will say navigation link, and destination will be another view, which in our case is something that we have not created yet, but I'll create a category view right now here. That's what the name of the next view will be that I will create in a little while. And it has, I'll pass the category with it, and that's what I'll call it, category. Okay, that's the destination. I'm gonna get rid of this navigation link. What else do I need here? Okay, and then to display it inside text, I'll say category dot name. Now this will give me an error right now because I don't have anything where it can go. So for now I can create a new view here. I can just say file, new, file, select a Swift file, next, and I'm going to call it category view for now. And inside this category view, just so that it I'm going to Swift UI struct, or yep, yeah, struct, I'll call it category view, which is what I wanted, view. Let's leave it for now here. Let's go back and complete this here. So this category view category doesn't have that functionality, so it's not working. So let's go ahead and do some more stuff here before we go back to the previous one. So inside my category view, I want to create a state parameter, state variable, call as category, which will be passed from the previous view, content view. And I need another state to keep track of my new task title. Every time I want to add a new task, this is where it will go. It will be of the type string. It's empty string, let's call that. It will also have a body, so body some view, and inside here I'll create a vstack which will have a list, and this will be for each of the category dot tasks. So depending on which category screen we are on, it will use those tasks. So I'll say for each of the tasks inside there, what I want to do is I want to create a horizontal stack, and this horizontal stack will have let's say text, which is task dot title. Why is it not populating automatically? Let's leave it for now, and let's come back to that if it is okay. It's probably good now. I'll add a spacer which gives a space between the text and the next element which I'm adding is if task dot is completed. So I'm going to say, right there, if the task is completed, what I want to do is I want to display an image. I'm going to use a system image that is system name. Okay, what happened here? Image system name, and this name is, I'm going to use the check mark which is available, check mark dot circle dot fill. So this will have like a green check mark which we saw before we started this project, foreground color, and I'm going to use the green color. You can use whatever color you want, but if a task is completed, it should have a green color. Else, if it's not completed, I want an action which will come from a button, which will, I'll say action is, I will try to add this functionality here instead of writing a separate function. I'm saying if the task is completed, toggle. So if when the button is clicked, the task, depending on whatever is completed state is, it will toggle. If it's true, it will go false. If it's false, it's going to go to true. Now since we are only doing it for not completed task, for completed task there will be no toggle. Only if it's not completed you'll be able to toggle it back. And the image that I want to use is system name, the basic circle. So this will just show a simple circle over there, and that's what this will have. Now I also want to delete these tasks which we have done before for each. What you can do is on delete. What I want to do is on delete, I want to delete the task, which is a function that I'll have to write. So that's what we will do. And then here below it, I will also say navigation title. So I want to give a title to this, and based on the category that is passed, I'm going to use that category's name. And for the toolbar, what I'm going to do is, let's see, for the toolbar I'm going to create a toolbar item, and this toolbar item have a placement. I hate it when it automatically adds it. I like to add my code myself. Navigation bar trailing. It will be deprecated in the future versions, so not a good idea to use it, but for now let's add it. And it will have an edit button. So on the top it will have an edit button which will let you delete the items. Once that is done, so below that I want to add another h tag so I can add new task to this particular field. So I'm going to create a horizontal task stack with a text field. This is something similar that we did with the recipes, where we added a new recipes before. New task, and it will have text of dollar new task title if it's available, and it will be text field style that I always like to be rounded, and I'll give a padding or else it doesn't look good. And after this I want to add a button to add this item. So create an action of add task, and inside this add task the button will be called add, and you know the basic stuff. Add the padding, add the background color, use the same thing, color dot blue. I will add a foreground color, and that will be white. I will add a corner radius 8. Now you're probably used to this. And then padding, empty padding. Now what are we missing? If you see, it's going to tell you right here what am I missing. That is the functions. So I'm going to go down here. Now I'm going to add my first one, add task, and that is if not new task title dot is empty. So if it's empty, if it's not empty, what do I need to do? Category dot tasks dot append task title. So I'm using that struct that we created, and I'm gonna use that new task title and add that to my categories. And then once that is done, we need to make sure that we clear off this new task title. That's good. Now let's go and delete the task at offsets, and that was index set. So that's what we get. Category dot tasks dot remove, not remove all, that will not be nice, at offsets. So that will take care of, where is the delete? Okay, delete tasks. That's perfect. We don't have to specify. This is text field. Let's see, it's so offset. So that's good. Next thing is we want to see the preview of this, which is missing. So I can probably copy paste this over here. So preview is available. Let's see if it shows up. Failed to build the schema. Let's see, maybe because of the errors that we have here. Let's try to figure out what we have done wrong here. It says cannot conform to text field style. So rounded border text field style, it looks good to me. Text field new task. Let's try to do this one more time. Let's see if it helps us. Text field style. Okay, it does. Get rid of this. We have created a stack with a text field. Text is this, and text field style. Why are you not working? Leave it for now. We'll come back to that later. Let's go back here and then expand. So it looks like I am missing something here. Let's look at the code again, where we have for each category in navigation link, destination, degrees, and I think I'm missing closing here for this, and that should take care of that. That's good. And my navigation list has list. I want to give some more properties to this. Let's add a title to that. Navigation title is, let's call it task manager. Let's see if it shows up in here canvas without any problem. And then I want to create a toolbar. Just toolbar with properties of bar item, and this toolbar item will have placement of dot navigation bar trailing, and just close this, navigation bar trailing, and inside that we'll have a button which has an action of add category, so we can add more categories if we want. And inside that I'll add an image of, instead of writing like the creating a button with all the things, I can just use a system button of plus. Okay, so this is all that I need to do here. And then finally let's create that add category function, and I'll say categories dot, I'm not creating a text field and letting user add their category. What I'm doing is I'm just adding something that is hard coded right now, new category. So every time you click on that plus, it will do this. So let's save this, and there you go, we have our uh, items here. I can click and add a new category. I can go inside. Now this is the other view, the category view, and inside that, if you see, this was not rounded, the text field didn't have rounded title, so I'll probably have to look why that is not working. But I can say one task add, it's added, second task add, and I can mark them as completed. I can go back, I can go somewhere else and come back to the personal task. So if it's not persisting right now because we are not adding any code to persist those items, but you can test it out, play around with this and keep on adding items. You can delete them too if you want, because we added the delete code. So this is how it works. So play around with it. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you figure out a problem to a solution to fix that rounded text here, and leave it in the comments. Thank you.